Do you reckon he can fit in that?
Yeah, definitely. It's his size, I can tell.
Oh, it's his size?
Do you want to try it on now?
Do you want to try it on now?
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Roundup. Once again, we are back here on Reversal, looking at the last 7 days of tournament action around the four corners of the FGC globe. As always, I'm your host, Logan Sama, dying in my house from allergies. The pollen has me in a headlock, so camera off this week. But there was plenty of tournament action on around the world, so let's take a look at some of the best events here in the Roundup. Battle Arena Melbourne returns, and it is hopefully 13th time lucky for the long-running Australian Super Major. Falling just short of 1,000 attendees, there were tournaments across a multitude of titles. Battle Arena Melbourne was a Tekken World Tour Master event, which meant there was an invasion of top-level Asian professional players. Chan NY, the lone Australian representative, managed to finish third, eliminated by Ni in losers finals. Ni would go on to face Rangchu in grand finals and reset in a tight 5 games. But the experience of the Holy Ni proved too much for Rangchu as the reset finished 3-1 and Ni took the win in the master event.
And there it is.
That put Ni up to second place on the TWT leaderboard, hot on the heels of Arsenal and Ash. Strive was an ARC World Tour qualifier event as well, and international players were in attendance. Latif was cruising in the winner's side of the bracket past Leo 3-1 and Metal Cake 3-0 in winners finals. But Leo was mounting a strong comeback in the losers bracket first, eliminating Wombo Fuse 3-0. Then the same score again against Saf. Metal Cake went down 3-1 in losers finals, and we would see the winners semi run back in grand finals as Latif was waiting. And he didn't have to wait very long. A lightning quick reset from the Japanese Faust expert 3-0 saw us go into a grand final reset. The pendulum had swung back to the middle, and this was a tense 5-game affair. But in that 5th and final deciding game, Leo's body entered what I can only describe as the astral plane. A double perfect sealed the win and the first qualifier spot for the ARC World Tour Finals. Street Fighter 6 cruising through winners side, ROF overcame over 200 entrants to become the first Street Fighter 6 major champion in Australia, beating Stream Monsters 3-0 in winners final, and then closing out the tournament with another 3-0 win against Crown in grand finals.
Oh, he's playing to the camera.
Headstomper is back after a couple of years hiatus. New games, same free ice cream. 4 games on the lineup, starting with Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 looked like the Street Fighter family reunion at times for the European FGC, with players like Junie and Poppy both reaching top 8, or Elias, formerly known as Salty Kid, taking 9th place with a brand new look. Worth noting is that Ending Walker was in attendance, but he lost in top 16 to Ixion's DJ. An exciting top 8 saw a full Lyon winners final, with Mr. Crimson managing to take the win over TKR. In losers, it was all about one man, Poppy. The Swedish player lost to Suleiman in pools and had a full losers run to complete, beating JNS, Launch, Ian McTetley, Bricterium and Torpan to qualify to top 8. And he kept going, with 3 3-0s in a row in top 8 losers versus Dragoy, Rickermans Barnet and Mystic. He then had to face TKR in losers final, and the set started with a very quick 2-0 for TKR, who looked determined to get his run back against Mr. Crimson. In full confidence, TKR even tried the TKR special with blocked legs into super. Except this time, Poppy blocked and initiated his comeback at 2-1 match point for TKR he committed the one big mistake. He tried to empty drive rush without realising his drive gauge was low, putting himself in burnout and giving the round to Popey. And he went on to take the win in a dominant Game 3 and qualify for the Grand Finals.
Oh, TKR in danger! There it is, the trade!
Grand Finals was incredibly close as well. A disputed first set saw Popey's aggressive approach paying off and resetting the bracket 3-1. But in Shin Grand Finals,
He has the critical arc.
Oh, this is too scary.
He's teleporting.
Parry and the throw! The throw!
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Crimson will take Headstomper.
Mr. Crimson managed to adapt and took the win 3-1. After winning the first ever European tournament for Street Fighter V at Cannes Winter Clash 2016, Mr. Crimson does it again with the first Street Fighter VI major in Europe. Guilty Gear Strive was an ARC World Tour qualifier, with the winner immediately qualifying for World Finals. The bracket was stacked enough to see Smoib, Kafka, but also Skill and Leffen all out in top 16. For the first time in Strive, 3 American top players travelled to Europe, and 2 of them had to face off in winners' semis. Supernoon took a 3-0 victory over Nubenheimer, whilst Zando sent Jetstream to losers. Winners' final saw Zando qualifying to Grands with the 3-1 win over Supernoon. In losers, a rare Greece versus Greece showdown happened as Serrani took the win over Rio. Nubenheimer then eliminated Serrani in a very close 3-2 set, whilst fellow US player Jonathan Tanay eliminated Tiger Pop and Jetstream to make it a full USA losers semi. 3 US players in the top 4, and Europe's chances of that ARC World Tour qualifying spot were looking slim. Jonathan Tanay beat both Nubenheimer and Supernoon and went on to face Zando in Grand Finals.
Let's rock!
But Zando is one of the players with the biggest Zato experience, and that experience paid off as Zando took a strong 3-1 win and qualifies once again to the World Finals.
Let's go to Tekken.
On the Tekken 7 side, it all started with special exhibitions run by Spag.
I don't like this.
Kokoma played Sephi Black in the first of 5, and his punishment for losing was
3, 2, 1, go!
to dress as a maid. Even better, Bode lost his first of 5 against Kane Trench and had the biggest punishment of them all,
Look at the state of that, holy shit!
eating a Swedish banana curry pizza. Bode is from Napoli, so his pizza culture is strong. This was a severe punishment. As for the tournament itself, the Red Bull Golden Letter sensation HK Jr. did it again, beating Kokoma and Joker to qualify to Grand Finals. Kokoma faced off against Joker in losers finals and was able to take it 3-1 to earn the run back in Grands against HK Jr. But the set was an exact run back as before, 3-1 to the exciting young German player, taking his first ever major win. Last but not least, Grand Blue Versus ran with none other than Spain's Dragoy winning Grand Finals. Massive shout outs to Dragoy as she got first in GBVS, 7th in Street Fighter VI and 17th in Strive, a multi-game talent. It was great to see Europe's players offline once again together, enjoying some great ice cream. Tenno's online tournament series ICFC, aka Intercontinental Fight Club, kicked off its pre-season events for the first time with Street Fighter VI. The summer season will be running over the coming months for Europe, North America and Asia, and it was Europe that kicked off festivities with some faces you might recognise. There was a solid turnout from some strong players in Europe in this first event, but the tournaments were open to anyone in the world. Just pick whichever time slot worked for you, a real testament to the strength of Street Fighter VI's netcode. This meant we saw some exotic names in the bracket, with B Taunt from India showing out with their Honda. In fact, there was a lot of people showing out with their Honda. However, with the proliferation of Hondas, there were none in Grand Finals, as I'm Still the Daddy was on the winner's side facing off against Heapski. But despite overcoming the Honda menace, Heapski looked lost against I'm Still the Daddy, who cruised to a 3-0 win and has the honour of being your first ever ICFC Street Fighter 6 champion. The action then moved over to North America with an all-star lineup of broadcast talent. And whilst Europe was overrun with Hondas, it was JP who was ever present in this bracket as Julio faced off against Masoma. But once again, the grand finals saw none of these characters as YJK was the one to face Punk, flying high off the back of his DreamHack win the week before. Things were looking up for YJK with this perfect round, putting them in the lead in grand finals in the third game. But Punk dominated both on the ground and in the air, forcing desperation, and the drive rush check closed out a 3-1 win for Punk in North America. Attention then moved over to Asia, and we saw probably the widest area of players competing, from as far apart as Australia and Pakistan. The three-man team were calling the action late into the night, and how ironic was it that we had a JP versus Honda standoff, as Xiao Bao aka Cola switched to Honda to try and come back against TB's JP. But it was not to be, as TB cruised past. They themselves were stopped in their tracks, and once again, neither of these players made it to grand finals, as it was Sen in winner's side with his DJ up against Seo. Sen completed a perfect run with this perfect round. He took it 3-0 in winners and cruised through winners bracket the entire tournament to open up his account in ICFC. The summer season starts next week, so make sure you check out all the action over on Tenno Media.
Look at this, they're so scared to press anything. I completely understand.
After a series of successful tournaments throughout the beta, Tampa Never Sleeps returned for Street Fighter 6 for their first official tournament, and they hit their cap of 512 entrants. With players entering from all over North America, there was a whole heap of international representation, including the DR, Mexico, and Canada, alongside the United States, of course. And as Brian D and Kaba both cruised through the winner's side into winners finals, it was all about the battle of the DR Guiles. It was Kaba that came out on top and earned his place in grand finals on the winner's side with a 3-1 victory. But Brian D would not be slowed down. After Kusanagi eliminated Terrence 3-0, they faced off in the losers final. It's a tense 5th game affair, but Brian D managed to come out on top and earn his right to a run back in grand final, and we got that Guile mirror match once again. And in a much closer set, it came down to the wire in the 5th game, but Kaba was able to make the most of that life lead and close out with a second to spare to take the grand final 3-2 and win the first TNS Street Fighter 6 tournament. And hopefully TNS continues to see such great attendance. Saltmine League again saw a strong turnout for their online EMEA tournament, with just shy of 250 players entering across Europe, the Middle East and Africa. But it was Valmaster who came out on top of the field. After being sent to losers bracket outside of top 16 by Schiacci Sempre, they put together an impressive losers run to make it all the way back to losers final, eliminating Problem X, Niliel and Banja. After cleaning out Banja 3-0 in winners finals, it was I'm Still the Daddy that awaited Valmaster. Two classic World Warriors going at it, and it was Valmaster who reset the bracket 3-1. He went on to repeat that score in the Shin Grand Finals, and Valmaster took the second Saltmine tournament for the Street Fighter 6 EMEA season.
Valmaster taking Saltmine League Street Fighter 5 EMEA tournament.
That's about all we got time for this week. Don't forget, we've got loads of tournaments, our own here at Reversal. We are offline every Wednesday for Winner Stays On Weekly, presented by Reversal at Platform in Canary Wharf. And we have the Ultima Open Series online, open to both EMEA and North America. That's 2 tournaments. You can find out about both of those on the Twitter. That's at Reversal_GG. And find all of the VODs and so much more content on this very YouTube channel. So give us a sub, put that alarm on, and get involved in the comments. hit a like, share the content. We've got loads more great stuff coming for you every couple of days right here on Reversal.